Hello, everybody. My name is KGreen829, and welcome to another AAC wrap-up show. So, this wrap-up show, we're going to be going over all of the recruiting. We have recruiting done, and while they're not on the roster yet, we have all the recruits at least that are, user recruited. We still have AI classes to run. We still have people who joined late. We're going to have AI classes fill out for all the people the people that are left over for the class that if they weren't able to reach 25 because they came in later in the year. But for the most part, we have, we have recruiting classes. We have pretty much what is going to be, the best players to come out of those recruiting classes. So with that, I want to take a look and just go through something I've been wanting to do for a while, but, wanted to wait until recruiting was done. We're going to go through the recruiting classes of the AAC, and we're going to go through from best to worst. And even when I say best to worst, even the bottom classes in the AAC, it's not necessarily bad. It's, teams that joined later and, didn't have the opportunity to go after the big names. But, you look through and you look at the potentials of the people they have, and they're still really, it's not bad. They have a bright future. It'll just take longer for them. But that's just kind of what they had to do because they joined late. But first, we're going to start off with Tulane. Tulane finished with the best class in the AAC. They were number 6 in recruiting rankings, signing 25 recruits, getting a 2.98 composite score with a 1,975 ESPN score, a 273 score with Rivals, and a 328.33 score with 24/7. Now, if we go and look at their class, it was really built up by two big ones. 4-star defensive end Jacob Owens was a big addition. Jacob Owens is, just somebody. Tulane had some problems getting pressure, and this Jacob Owens is a beast. Out of Harlan. Out of Harlan, Iowa. That's my bad. I didn't have the state written down at the time. But out of Harlan, Iowa, 76 height, so that's in inches. So if I'm quickly able to convert that to feet, that's 6 foot, 3 inches pretty much. Then weight, 298 pounds. C overall, C potential. Not somebody who's, huge signing, but somebody who's going to get the job done while they look for a more permanent solution. And then, of course, 5-star wide receiver Jeffrey Bothillier. Tulane losing wide receiver Fernando Thomas, MVP candidate to the draft. They needed somebody to come in and replace him, and Bothillier is going to be that dude. We also have here quarterback Igor Peters. Not a huge one, but a little quarterback with some depth. They've been using their best quarterback at running back. And Igor Peters is just going to be a good depth piece behind who's expected to be their starter, which is Paul McCullough Sanders, freshman quarterback that was redshirted after, signing with Tulane the year before. Out of Allison's, Ohio, C overall, C potential, another good depth signing. But then we get to the cornerbacks, and we got some good corners. We have Oscar Reiser and Devin Levine, both 4 stars. Reiser out of Fort Worth, Florida, and Levine out of Lebanon, Ohio. Both B overall. Reiser with a B- potential, and Levine with a B+. Both huge signings. And not pictured, we have Jose Hernandez, outside linebacker, 5-star outside linebacker. After picking up a 5-star inside linebacker, Tulane continues to show their dominance at the linebacker position by bringing in Jose Hernandez, 5-star out of Woodville, Texas, B overall, C- potential. Just a lot to like about this class, bringing in just guys all over. The other 4 stars they brought in: wide receiver William Henry, defensive tackle Timothy Beatty, outside linebacker Gregory Barr. And then you go to the 3 stars, and you look at, and they brought in some good depth guys. They brought in a couple O linemen with high potential. That 4-star receiver William Henry has A potential, and a late signing. They brought in a late but important signing in Michael Robinson, defensive tackle, a nose tackle specifically out of Servina Park, Maryland. C overall, B- potential, as Tulane has been known to run a 3-4. They need that nose tackle, which is something they didn't have last year. So being able to get one, a solid defensive tackle, nose tackle at the end of the class was really good pickup for them. Other than that, not too much of note. Just a lot of solid signings, guys with some pretty nice looking potential, and just guys to, just be used for depth. Injuries are being added, so depth is something that's on the forefront of everyone's mind. So just a lot of positions where they were weak in depth and just trying to, make improvements. One or two guys maybe gets to the starting lineup and those 2-3 stars, and they're happy about that. But at the end of the day, they're just fodder for in case somebody goes down with injuries. Oh, sorry. I forgot that he actually is pictured. There is Jose Hernandez, outside linebacker out of Woodville, Texas. Next up, we have the Tulsa Hurricanes. Tulsa Golden Hurricanes. They were ranked the number 10 class with 25 signees, composite score of 2.75, ESPN score of 2030, Rival score of 226.3, and 24/7 score of 322.9. Coach Ace Wolf of Tulsa actually did reach out to me. I have his class here, and we'll go over it in a second. But just highlighting, big highlights of the class. Of course, you have Ernest Williams, offensive guard, 4-star out of Oak Ridge High School in Conroe, Texas, B overall, C+ potential. Then 4-star strong safety, Frederick Thoreau, man coverage guy out of Macedonia, Ohio, B overall, B potential. Both really good signings. Then you had offensive lineman Pankajo Gao. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, and I apologize, but some of these names are hard. You saw Tulsa really make a commitment to offensive line. 2 4-star offensive linemen. Three 4-star offensive linemen have committed to Tulsa in this cycle. On top of Gao and Williams, Gao being a B overall, C potential. They have Michael Taflinger, offensive tackle, 4-star out of Vero Beach, Florida, C overall, C potential. So really bolstering that. But some big ones come in the next two that I'm going to say. Inside linebacker Jeffrey Adams, run stopping, 4-star guy out of Grapevine, Texas, C overall, C+ potential. And the one that I know Ace Wolf is really excited about, 4-star quarterback Caesar Chacon, scrambler out of Muskogee, Oklahoma, C overall, B+ potential. The top scrambling quarterback in the class is heading to Tulsa, which is a big get to them. Other than that, some important things that I was told to point out is just the additional week. In the final week of recruiting, they made a real big conscious effort to go after some depth, and they got some really good depth pieces. These were the 8 guys signed in the final week of recruiting for Ace Wolf. 3-star quarterback John Kramer, C overall, C+ potential. 3-star wide receiver Joshua Love, C overall, D potential. 3-star wide receiver Nick Carter, C overall, F potential. 3-star running back Patrick Pate, C overall, C potential. 3-star running back Charles Falling, C overall, C potential. 3-star inside linebacker Stephen Mondragon, C overall, C- potential, which is a great name, by the way. 3-star inside linebacker David Wilson, C overall, C+ potential. And then 3-star offensive guard Douglas Marino, C overall, C potential. Those guys were really big for them just because it's them building up depth. An extra quarterback in case Chacon goes down, 2 receivers, 2 running backs, 2 inside linebackers, an offensive guard, just really filling out their depth. You look at the class breakdown, and you got it right here. Ace Wolf was really great help. He gave me a lot of information. He really went from, a class in the mid-20s up to the final week. He finished with the number 10 class, so really great improvement. If you look at his class breakdown, he ended up with 14 guys signed on offense, 9 guys signed on defense, and 2 special teamers. Breaking that down even further, the 14 on offense was 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, and I said they invested in offensive linemen. 7 offensive linemen committing to Tulsa in this cycle. Then on defense, splitting up the 9, you have 3 on the defensive line, 4 linebackers, 2 defensive backs. Then the last 2 of the 24 were coming on special team. Punter Benjamin Young, 4-star punter, and 3-star kicker Christian Kwasiak. Just a lot of really good additions for this Tulsa team. They really made a move in this final week and just, took one of the better classes. Something that the AAC has done a lot of, because that's now 2 classes in the top 10, but we're not done in terms of good classes, because next up we have Houston, number 12 class in the sim, 24 signees, 2.69 composite score. This is 3rd best class in the AAC. You look at their scores, 1,908 on ESPN, 225.4 on Rivals, and 321.48 on 24/7. You go and you look at their class, and just quickly looking in, you have offensive guard Robert Villar was a big one to sign with them. Sorry, not offensive guard. Offensive tackle Robert Villar, 4-star pass blocking guy out of Houston, Texas. Houston really utilizing the talent in their state. If you look, sorry about it. If you look, 13 of their 24 signees came from the state of Texas. So really, everyone knows how big, there's certain states where you're going to get good football talent out of, and that's Florida, that's Texas, California, among many others. Houston being right there in Texas, being right at the center of Texas, knew about the wealth of talent that was around them and really utilized it to their best by grabbing so many Texas guys, keeping them at home, which, is really good for a program. If you have talent, if you have a lot of good, talented players right there in your state, you do not want to let them leave, okay? Because if you can start turning that into a farm, and if it's a state like Texas or Florida, where every year they're going to produce NFL-level talent, you need to try and keep them in state if you want to build a successful program. So, like I said, Robert Villar. Then you have quarterback Jim Cantor. They're losing their scrambling quarterback this year, Devontae Doyle, who's moved to running back about halfway through the season and put up amazing numbers. Jim Cantor is a scrambler, 4-star out of St. John's, Missouri. See overall, see potential. Maybe he will look to take over the role of Doyle as that, the guy who could be a quarterback, but maybe they utilize him more in the running situation. If they don't want to go full option, he can line up as a running back and be a really effective back for them. You never know what they're going to do. But other than that, you have other big signees like George Williams, a good wide receiver, a good outside linebacker in Terrell Bernard. Both of those guys are 4-stars. Michael Sweeney, a 4-star cornerback, a 4-star free safety in Benjamin Dunlap, and a 4-star defensive end in Jorge Garcia. Just a lot of great signings. Just one short of the 25 limit, but and you look through, you see that they really went after depth too. So another really good class in the AAC. Next up, we have Navy. I'm going through these a little bit quicker because I don't want to make this too long. So there's not too much to go off of. We have overalls, potential grades, but I'm trying to get something more out of it. But there's not too much other than just presenting the information. But next up, we have Navy. They were the number 18th class in the sim. That is the 4th and final top 20 class in the AAC. And we'll get to the next one, and we'll talk about that. But you look at Navy. They signed 24 kids, 2.32 composite score, 1,901 ESPN, 152.3 Rivals, and 329.93 24/7 score. You look at Navy's class, and they also were they're down, and 18 is pretty high, but also 18 seems a little bit low for this Navy team because they brought in a lot of talent. You have inside linebacker Timothy Johnson, a 4-star run stopper out of Bushnell, Florida. See overall, see potential. You have wide receiver Ryan Gwynn, 3-star route runner, just see overall, but with a potential, really good. Even Scott Venata, offensive guard out of Ramsey, New Jersey, see overall with A+ potential. This is a kid who can, and I know Navy made a commitment to their O-line too. This is a kid who can make a big difference. But more importantly, the biggest names, we'll get there actually. Sorry, I forgot. We also have Willie Lovett. Um, uh, do we? Did I put the wrong? No, we do. Okay, sorry. I thought I put the wrong one in there. Yeah, Willie Lovett, cornerback out of Bainbridge, Georgia. C overall, B plus potential. Ball hawk, 3-star guy. But now getting to the sorry, there's a lot more people in this class than I remember. These were just edits that I made beforehand. So the edits were mostly I whipped up a couple before I started filming. But for the later schools who joined later, they don't have as much, and I'm sorry about that. Next year I will make sure to get more for them, but it's like teams that came in later will only have like 1 or 2. And then again, I apologize. Kirk Ragland, running back out of Maple Park, Illinois, C overall, C plus potential. Earl Matthews, another guy that they got, offensive lineman. If I can find him. Here you go. Earl Matthews, never mind, not offensive line, defensive tackle, 3-star out of Vero Beach, Florida, C overall, B potential. And, I guess I don't have them pictured. That is my bad. I don't have edits of them, but the two big, I guess I just don't have pictures of them. That's my bad. I don't have edits for them, but the two big commits, the ones that their Navy was really excited about. Quarterback, Kyung Hee, pocket quarterback, 4-star out of Phillipsboro, New Jersey, B overall, B plus potential, and his number 1 blocker, Christopher Giles, offensive tackle out of Voorhees, New Jersey. These guys are actually 2 guys who played against each other quite often. Both playing for good football schools in New Jersey, they would often find each other matching up against each other late in the season, and often it was to go for a state title. So these are 2 guys who are very familiar while playing the same side of the ball. They're not. They've gotten to know each other and have developed a good friendship because of that. And now Navy bringing them together, I'm sure the rivalry between their schools is going to be, big, and they're gonna have to move past that. But I feel like they're gonna make a great duo together. Giles setting up the protection for who's a real pocket quarterback. And if he's given time, he can make a real difference on that Navy team. Next up, we have ECU. ECU, not a top 20 class. They were ranked 21st, just missing the top 20. But the one thing about ECU is they only signed 18 recruits out of the top 23 schools. They are one of 2 schools in recruiting to sign less than 20 recruits. The other one being Baylor at number 4 with 16. So ECU only getting 18. They made the most out of those 18 that they got. And maybe if they were able to fill out their class to 25, not maybe. It looks like if they were able to get their class up to 25 recruits signed, they would have had a top 20 class. So 21, 18 signed, 2.25 composite score, 1,471 ESPN score, 187.4 rival score, and a 294.48 24/7 score. And let's go and let's look. So the first one is their top signing, offensive guard Colby Mora, pass blocking guard out of Shelby, North Carolina, B overall, C potential, and 4-star defensive tackle Matthew Wilkes out of Richmond, Virginia. C overall, C plus potential. Also out of Richmond, Virginia, you have Scott Sharples, fullback, who's C overall, C plus potential. Actually, again, 2 guys who are on rival schools, who actually played against each other a couple more. They played against each other more than Kyung Hee and Christopher Giles and the other one, because they were actually from the same city. They were yearly scheduled match. So these are 2 guys, pretty familiar with each other. One's a defense tackle, one's a fullback. They've gone up against each other multiple times, and now going to be on the same team. So another, fun, interesting connection between them, between 2 players. But moving on with the class, you can see they've got, they were able to get cornerback William Hoban, pictured on the left. Zone coverage guy, 3-star, C overall, B plus potential. And also cornerback pictured on the right, Marshall Garrett, 3-star cornerback out of Sycamore, Ohio, C overall, B plus potential. But that's not the big signings. You can look a little bit more, and you have outside linebacker Don Tracy, 3-star guy out of Southern Pines, North Carolina, C overall, B potential. But the big signing that everyone in East Carolina is excited about is quarterback Stephen London, scrambler, 4-star out of Wilson, North Carolina. You see in this one, what I like to see is East Carolina really reaching over the border. They don't have their own Carolina, but East Carolina pulling a lot from North Carolina, grabbing a bunch of guys from there. You see one out of their 18. They have 8 out of their 18. 8 of their signees came from North Carolina. So you love to see something like that. Especially when you have competing schools in that state also trying to go for those North Carolina recruits like NC State, UNC. Really nice to see them winning some battles there. But Stephen London was a gem. 4-star quarterback out of Wilson, North Carolina, scrambler, C overall, C plus potential. He will look to fight for, in his first year, he will look to fight for that fighting quarterback spot. So it will be entertaining, and we might actually see him. So it will be fun to watch. That's all on East Carolina. So next up, we have Memphis. Now we get into the now that we're past East Carolina, we're getting into the users that were not as active or joined later in the sim. So the first one that we get on that is actually Memphis. So there's going to be a drop off, and that's them at 46 with 25. Like I said, a drop off in recruiting rankings because that's just talking about immediate impact. But, Memphis, I feel like still has a really good class. Despite the rankings, 1.46 on composite, 1735 on ESPN, 35.8 on Rivals, and 246.35 and on 24/7. But you look, they actually do have some really good additions. Top of one, so you look at them and you got quarterback Thomas Smith, 3-star out of Grovetown, Georgia. Actually played with another guy who committed to this class, 2-star outside linebacker Joseph Faringer, who's a D overall, A potential, more of the future. But Thomas Smith, being C overall, B potential, could look to make an instant impact of some kind. And you also have next to him Thomas Black, the Thomas brothers, offensive tackle, 2-star, D overall, B plus potential out of McDonough, Georgia. You actually look, and they've got out of their top 6 recruits signed, 5 of them are from Georgia. If you just extend that a little bit more, and you look at their 8th best recruit, it's a punter who's also out of Georgia. So Memphis really pulling from Georgia here. And then if you look even further, they have 2 more signees from Georgia, totaling, that's 7. That's 8 signings from Georgia out of this 25 man class. So really good, utilizing it. But if you want to look at their top recruit, it's a guy who they convinced to stay home. That's wide receiver Joseph Johnson out of Baxter, Tennessee. B overall, B minus potential. Joseph Johnson is a real gem. He's by far the best person to come out of this class. The best player in this class from Memphis, a real gem, somebody that they were really able to sneak through and get to the signing. But like I said, not a lot going for instant impact, but a lot of good potential. You look down the potentials, and you only see a couple of C's, and those C's are all C plus. Other than that, you're seeing B's, B pluses, A's, A minus. So not something that's good for now, but as a rebuilding, as a team that, got an AI coach later into the season, they got a user that started off as an AI coach and got a user coach after the season got started. So big deal. They were able to get some good things, and now getting a full season under their belt with the next season and being able to recruit for a full season. I'm excited to see what this Memphis coach can do. Now we go over to UCF as we're coming to the end. And we get over to UCF, who had the 51st class, signing 25 guys. If you look at their class, I only have one person I'm going to highlight from them just because, again, I wasn't spending a bunch of time doing making these recruiting commitment edits beforehand, but I made one for them, and that's running back James Dudley. His nickname in high school was Bowser, just because he was dominant on the field. Nobody could stop him, and just as a guy who always loved Bowser. I mean, I had a little talk with him. He's just somebody who's always loved the Super Mario games, and they took that, and not really sure how it started. He wasn't sure either, but you just heard his teammates start calling him Bowser. He's really kind of just embraced the name, using it on his social media. Official nickname for James Dudley being Bowser, but out of Palm Coast, Florida, C overall, B- potential, but really good player. And like I said, during the season, UCF was a very good defensive team, and on offense, they were really good at utilizing the run game, and you see that in the recruits that they were able to sign. You have Dudley, of course, but after that, Matthew Alba, 3-star running back out of San Clemente, California, C overall, B- potential. Then another 3-star running back, Brian Hefty, 3-star out of Woodboro Heights, New Jersey, C overall, B- potential. Just a couple of really solid running backs. Then you have Jaquez Cobell, scrambling quarterback out of Kings Academy down in West Palm Beach, Florida, right actually by where I am. C overall, B potential. And I mean, you can look through, and then again, another really solid class. They only have they only have 5 people in the entire class that have C plus potential or lower. So 5 people with a C plus potential, and other than that, they're all B minuses and above. So really good class for the future. Now getting to our second to last class, we have SMU, another team joining, a little bit later in the sim. SMU finishing 62nd with only 15 recruits. But again, any recruit is better than just waiting for the AI generated. And they got a couple guys who can play. This is offensive guard Michael Hall, pictured right here. Run blocker, 3-star, C overall, but A potential. Well, a lot of potential as you look down at the bottom, and they were able to sign 5 2-stars that do have A potential. So their senior year, they'll look to get some playing time. But the rest of them, really impressively, they were able to get a bunch of 3-stars, a bunch of 3-star guys who will, on a team like SMU could end up playing their first year. But if not, year 2, year 3, they could really be challenging for, one of those starting spots. A lot of good guys. They got some good offensive linemen, like I said, Michael Hall, Perry Miller, also out of East Bernard, Texas. Michael Hall, also out of Texas, out of Malakoff, Texas. And, I mean, also you have cornerback Dwayne Mueller, somebody who is on my radar. Zone coverage cornerback, 3-star out of Miami, Florida. Like I said before, Florida is one of those states that's always producing talent. So, while not the flashiest class, no 4-stars, no 5-stars, a very solid class, especially for somebody joining late. And now we get into the final class of the AAC, and that is Temple. So Temple, 66 ranked class, 13 signees. Other teams in the AAC, of course, you have Cincinnati, but since they didn't have a coach all year, they didn't recruit. So they were the only AAC. Team not to have a user recruit for them and get any signings at all. So getting the last one, it's Temple, and I put it off slightly early by accident. But offensive guard Thomas Wilson is somebody who's going to look to make a big difference for them. 3-star, C overall, A potential, and I love myself some punters. You look at their top recruit, actually, though. Travis Croker, punter, 4-star, out of Midlothian, Virginia, C overall, C plus potential. But, again, like I said, you look through, and while not the flashiest class, it's still a decent class. When you look through Theodore Sacre, running back, 3-star, out of Holland, Michigan. C overall, B minus potential. Geronimo Meisner, scrambling quarterback, 3-star, out of Clemens, North Carolina. C overall, A minus potential. David Thompson, 3-star tight end, out of Roswell, Georgia. C overall, A minus potential. A lot of good potential guys who could, end up being some pretty good players by the time they get to their senior season. But that's actually all that I have for this show. That is the end of this SimFBA show. I will be looking to do one or two more shows before I officially go on off season. Before I officially go on, and go and take my off season for SimFBA media. And then, once preseason starts and all that, we'll get that. If progressions happens, then expect, an extra one, because I'm going to do something talking about rosters with progressions. If I don't mix it with one of my others. So that's all I got for you. Thank you for watching. Again, I am KGreen829, and I'll see you guys next time.